Hello everyone and welcome to Female Nature. Today we'll be discussing menopause and trying to understand more about menopause. Thank you for joining us. If today is your first time of joining our channel, you are very welcome. So for discussion on menopause and for us to try and understand menopause a bit more, I am going to illustrate with the aid of a diagram. So this flow diagram shows the life of a woman from a younger age to a much older age. At the last episode, we talked about puberty. If you haven't seen that video, please, I suggest that you go and watch it because we won't be covering so much on puberty on this episode. Generally, when the woman or young girl starts to have starts to have her period, the first period during the puberty years, it goes on until maybe at the age of 52 and until menopause sets in. So I think it is better for us to take it stage by stage and trying to understand the journey from a young girl to a much older woman. At the age of 12 here, the first period starts, and please bear in mind that this is an average. It is not the same for everyone. Some girls see their first period maybe at the age of 12 or at the age of 10, some maybe at 13. So it varies because everybody is different. From this age of 12, the period starts and it's normal, it continues normal, no problem, no signs of menopause, no symptoms of perimenopause until maybe at the age of 42 when the symptoms start to kick in. Sometimes people confuse this this perimenopause period with premenopause with perimenopause. Premenopause years, these are the years that from the start of the period, the hormones settle, everything is going fine, no issues. It takes a long time, no worries, the period is flowing normally and the ovulation is normal. And as I mentioned, ovulation, if you don't really understand what ovulation is, this is the period after the few days after the menstruation when a woman is likely to conceive. So sometimes it can be between maybe the 10th day or between the 7th day after the period up until the 14th day after the period. So that's normally like the most conception period, which is the ovulation period. Yeah, that's it. So for the pre-menopause years, things continue to run as normal, no issues, and it can carry on like that until, say, age of 42. For some people, the perimenopause symptoms start to kick in, and these include maybe foggy brain, dry skin, nosebleed, loads of symptoms. At the next episode, we'll look more into the symptoms of perimenopause, and these go on until the around the age of 52, 50, 51, 52, or 53. It depends on the individual. So these are the perimenopause periods, years, so from the age of maybe early 40s, or some people it might be late 30s. It carries on for some years, so those symptoms will be there. So the thing is, perimenopause, even though that we classify all of them up, we general term is menopause or perimenopause. The symptoms carry on all those like dryness and dry skin, of being forgetful. They carry on for the most of the adult life, really. But what we need to understand is peri-menopause is when the symptoms, the changes in the woman's body starts, the changes in the reproduction life starts. It doesn't mean that the woman will not go on to have a child, no, but things change, things start to change at this age, and it carries on for several years. Menopause doesn't really kick in until much later. So we can say that the perimenopause starts from around the age of early 40s until early 50s. And we need to know the difference between menopause. When we talk about menopause, we need to know the difference between perimenopause and the actual menopause. So here that we have this month, say if we take for example, for the benefit of illustration, the woman at the age of 52, maybe her period stops, and a month after, she didn't see her period, 2 months, 3 months. Maybe when she sees her doctor might say, oh, your period hasn't come, you might actually be in menopause, or you might be going through menopause. If the period doesn't come for 12 consecutive months, that is the menopause period. If, however, maybe after 2 months the period comes, the woman is not there yet. So the woman hasn't reached menopause yet. She is still within this perimenopause stage. The difference between the perimenopause and the actual menopause here is when the woman has gone for 12 consecutive months without her period. That time she's in menopause. But as soon as the 12 months pass, as soon as the 12 months of non-bleeding elapse, she is now postmenopausal. So we can say, okay, for after her 12, I would say the period finished on her 52nd birthday. So between that 12 months window until she turned 53, she didn't have any period at all, not even spotting. She didn't have any period. So that is the 12 months is the menopause period. After the 12 months, the woman is post-menopausal. So she will be post-menopausal from the 12, if we say from the 13 months after her period stopped, which essentially means 12 consecutive months of no period, and then she's now post-menopausal. But the thing is, the symptoms from these perimenopause years, like early 40s, they continue for some people until post-menopausal period from age of 53 and onwards. But what happens is, if I take you back to when we discussed puberty, once the period starts, gradually over some years, for some people, maybe from the age of 12 until 17, late teens, before the hormones settle and everything is normal. Now, when we come to menopause and post-menopause, you expect, or people normally expect, that the symptoms that the woman has been experiencing from that early 40s until her period actually stops, when she's gone straight into menopause, you expect the symptoms to subside. They should actually be easing off from here. And in fact, for some women, from the age of 52, even before the period actually stops, the symptoms start to settle, because now the body is understanding, oh well, something is really happening. Yeah, it's likely the period won't be coming up anymore. No more periods. So the body will gradually start to adjust to the new life of the woman, which means that the symptoms should actually be settling. But for some people, the symptoms like foggy brain and dry skin, they carry on for the rest of a woman's life, even when the menopause has actually kicked in and now she's post-menopausal. So some of the symptoms carry on for later years of the woman. But generally, the body should start to settle. And for some people, they should start to sleep better. If they haven't been sleeping better from the perimenopause years, which is one of the symptoms of perimenopause and generally menopause, not sleeping well, things should start to settle for the woman. And it will be normal life, normal way of living without any issues. But from this menopause time until the rest of the woman's life, the estrogen is completely, or not completely, but significantly reduced. Significantly reduced, which means that issues in relation to bone density, the bone is things like osteoporosis now start to kick in. The woman will be having issues with, oh, the knee is hurting, the back is hurting, different joints are hurting, and things like that. The reduction in estrogen, even from earlier on here, for some people, for the perimenopause, when it starts, the symptoms start. For some people, it carries on. So it is important for the woman to be checking with her doctor. As I said to you viewers, I am not a medical person. I'm just sharing what I know and what other people around me are going through or what I've experienced myself, because we need to educate one another. So it is important for the woman to be having like annual health checks with her GP, getting regular blood tests just to make sure that everything is okay, all her vitamins, that everything is normal, her iron level is normal. But this is nature. We cannot run away from nature. We have to bear in mind that as we are getting older, things are changing in the body as well. But for clarity, menopause is the 12 consecutive months without a period. That is the menopause year, the menopause months. After the 12 months, the woman is post-menopause, but the symptoms continue. And for some people, if it's too difficult for them to handle, because some of the symptoms might be quite excruciating for the woman, they may end up getting some support from their GP. So it is important, if you're having prolonged perimenopause symptoms, worrying perimenopause symptoms, please always speak with your doctor. Let them run tests for you to make sure that there is nothing else of concern. And if it is issue that they can help you with medication support for, that will be really good. But the main thing is for people to understand the changes that their body is going through, the likely period that those changes will be starting. And once they know that there is just normal, there's nothing to worry about, then there won't be any panic. And again, for people to understand, generally from this section here, the age of 12, when the first period starts until the period stops, it takes about on average 40 years of bleeding for a woman. Yes, 40 years. From the start of the period till the end of the period. On average, roughly 40 years. Some people it might be a bit later, a bit earlier, and some people it might be a bit later, but on average, 40 years. So that's what people need to understand. So generally today we're trying to understand what menopause is and the stages of menopause, and for people to understand when their body is changing. At the next episode, we're going to look into the symptoms, what people are actually feeling, the actual symptoms of menopause, so people know what to look out for. I hope this is helpful. This illustrative diagram is helpful for you women out there, or for their husbands to understand the life journey of a woman. So, on the next episode, we will discuss more on the symptoms, as I mentioned to you. So, until then, look after yourselves. It's always good to share information with you, to share life journeys with you. And please share this video with the people around you, so that we will be able to help one another around the world. And the thing with menopause, unlike when we discussed fibroids few episodes ago, and fibroid was mainly affecting African, Caribbean, Asian women, and people from other parts of the world, including the European women. Menopause doesn't know any boundaries. It doesn't know any race. It affects women all around the world, irrespective of their skin color. So it is important for everybody to be aware of menopause, and to be able to help themselves and to help people around them. So I hope to see you at the next episode, when we talk more on the symptoms of menopause. Until then, please share, please subscribe, please like the videos, and make comments as well, so we know how to improve the channel for the benefit of all of us. Thank you. Take care of yourselves.